Hi, my name is Julia Van Hooser, and today I have the honor of introducing Hannah Kerlan. I know Hannah as the girl who puts her all into everything she does. Whether it be running or school, Hannah has always been the person who gives 110%. This is even true for her walks down the hallway, where she always smiles big and tends to look much more excited about the day than everyone else. According to her friends, Hannah has a tendency to laugh so hard she falls to the floor. She even laughs, giving 110%. I know Hannah gave all her effort into this speech, nothing off-brand, and I truly cannot wait to see what she has to share with us today. Please welcome Hannah Elise Kerlan.
Sprinkles for cupcakes and Hannah for president. That was my slogan when I decided to run for President of the United States in the 4th grade. Despite my 4th grade teacher affirming my aspirations like a good teacher does when a student declares dreams, many of my my classmates, clearly expressed alternate beliefs. During the 5-year time span that I had presidential aspirations, classmates informed me that not every single problem could be solved with a pink cupcake offering, and that I was, quote, too innocent to be president. But I was only innocent to an extent. You see, every time someone declared me too innocent to hear whatever inappropriate conversation they were having, I would explain to them that I was not too innocent to walk myself down the stairs to the library and look up whatever they were talking about on a school computer. This sweet, sweet little threat, call it an executive order, always worked. Although I agree that there may be some limitations to the Pink Peace Treaty. So when we were given a sheet of paper at this year's senior retreat and were tasked with writing down an answer to the question, who do you want to be when you grow up? I finally made the hard, excruciatingly difficult decision to withdraw from the 2040 presidential race. With a blank sheet of paper and a scrambling mind, I mentally reconsidered the loads of career paths I had abandoned over my 18 years, starting from the very beginning. The first thing I ever wanted to be was a doctor, most likely resulting from the fact that this is the career path my dad has chosen. Side note, funny how my mom is a Zumba dance instructor, but I've never once considered, as she likes to say, shaking it for a living. But that's beside the point. I had a little stuffed animal clinic in my house where all the patients went by so-and-so because I thought that was an actual name. And I had already deemed myself the first female Dr. Kerlan with a little sticker on my bedroom clinic door. And everything was great until I witnessed my first ever surgery. Someone's dad came to our kindergarten classroom to demonstrate an intense procedure on a teddy bear, pipe cleaner, IV, and all. It was pretty gruesome, as I'm sure you can imagine, so I'll just have to spare you the details, but let's just say that as soon as that pipe cleaner IV even grazed the fluff of poor Teddy's arm, I suddenly required more medical attention than the bear. 3 things happened that day. I threw up, passed out, and closed my clinic. Lastly, if I couldn't rule or heal on Earth, I decided maybe the problem wasn't me, but instead the environment. Outer space seemed to offer me a fresh opportunity. But in 6th grade, when we were given an acronym for all of the planets and were asked to list them on a blank sheet of paper, I blanked on what the E stood for. And proceeded to write Uranus. So, back to the senior retreat, I can't write down astronaut, and my paper is still blank. When I remember a conversation I had earlier that summer with Mr. Sohn, a conversation that, if you will, brought me back down to earth. Watching me struggle to select a major for my college applications, Mr. Sohn gave me a scenario. Imagine it's 5 years into the future, and you're the happiest you've ever been. What are you doing? He asked. To which I responded something along the lines of, living in the moment, not really worrying about the past or the future. Then forget Earth and forget space, because he asked a question that could change the whole universe. Why aren't you doing that now? Realizing the power of my math teacher's words, I turned back to my applications and confidently selected education. St. Mary's teaches us that being a good teacher isn't necessarily about giving students something to listen to, but instead about giving students someone who will listen to them. Knowing that a student really can do anything in the future if they support this childish perspective now. So right now, maybe I can't be a teacher because I'm 18, but I can adopt and encourage this childish perspective myself. Maybe you have to return to what you did as a child in order to figure out what you're going to do as an adult. Every day since this realization, I've attempted to do at least one thing that would have made me happy when I was younger, when all I really knew was today, and yesterday was a distant memory, and tomorrow was full of dreams as opposed to worries. Sometimes I play with my dog for 30 minutes instead of doing Mr. Sohn's homework. And sometimes I wake up early to watch the sunrise from my bedroom window while eating something sweet, because all you know as a child is hungry and not hungry, and all I ever knew was cupcake and not cupcake. And sometimes the universe does all the work for you, and you end up giving your senior speech on the same day as your elementary school best friend. It's been a long speech and the paper is still blank. What did I ever even write? If you have a guess, you're wrong, because I did not write teacher. I wrote the most important lesson that I have been taught and the first lesson I plan to teach. I wrote, quote, I hope to be a happy person who exists joyfully in a time that hasn't yet been and will not be yet, in a time that is only now. So, now, my students, that concludes my first lesson, and you may be dismissed. Thank you.